Good morning. This appears to be peak flow. Every time you get here, the river seems a little bit angrier than it was the previous time. The sound there's some subtle change in the sound. The level indicated here is 7.2, just under 7.2 meter. And last night at some time, while checking the levees, it was at just over 7.2 meter. So there's a bit of a story here, and the story actually starts in Prieska, moves to Kakamas, and then comes here. For those who've seen my videos over the weekend, you would have seen me in Kakamas Saturday and Sunday, and I was watching the flow there, and I was surprised that the Kakamas bridge was not closed yet, because this peak is very, very close to the peak level in 2011. And 2011 the water broke through the levees in Kakamas, and the N14 going towards the bridge, that low point, was flooded. Water raak al aan die treinbrug, en wat die piekvloei is omtrent 5000 kubiek, en teen 5000 kubiek is daar 'n groot kans. Ons sien die water is al in hierdie wingerd hier, dat hierdie stuk pad van die brug af tot in Kakamas oorstroom kan word, en dat hierdie pad vir 'n tyd sal toe wees. I was surprised that it was not flooded yet, and I saw some workings happening on the levees to the side there, and I decided to drive in and go and have a look. And I found some farmers. I met the guy there, J.R. Lowe, he owns that property, and his farm manager there, Johnny Diedrichs. And they had been working through the night, manning the dikes, making sure that the river didn't break through. I had a team of workers there that were taking shifts, watching the levees. So they're currently pumping out water to relieve pressure there. That is the river in the distance there. So the river is already above these vineyards. Now it's going to be a question of can they keep ahead of it? And this seems to be the lowest point, the danger point. In the distance there you can see the bridge, Kakamas bridge. The bridge is much higher than where we are. That is Kakamas in the distance there, and that low-lying area before the bridge that was closed in 2011 is now in danger of being flooded if it breaks through here. Also all of these vineyards, all of this low-lying area. So the levees are basically keeping the river out now.
En jy sien hoe hoog die rivierwater is teenoor die kanaal. Druk oor in die kanaal in. En kyk, daar loop hy nog oor. Daar is die kanaal se rand. Water was daar baie hoog gewees. Dan kan jy sien aan die kante, bo oor die kanaal, se sementkante, rande, hoe jy ook al wil sê. Hier het ek hom gekeer, sodat hy hier nie kan oorloop nie. Wel, althans die hele kanaal, daar is geen wal aan die kanaal daar om enigstens water hier te keer hier. So ja, as hierdie saak is weggevat was, enigstens sou die water oorgeklim het. Daar is 'n lyn getrek tot waar die water gekom het. Kraak die sand al weg, en dan kan jy maklik sien hoe hoog die kanaal was, en hoewel waar die kanaal is en hoe hoog die vloedwater gekom het. En net 'n bietjie perspektief te bring, kyk hoe laag is hy kar daar en hy het 'n bietjie, en ja, hierdie water is definitief kan jy maklik sien bo oor die wingerd. Hoe ver hy sou getrek het. Sou definitief skade maak. Die manne werk nog en gaan aan op die trekker.
And in 2011, the river broke through at some weak spots on the levees where monitor lizards or porcupines or some animals had dug into the banks that holds up the canal. The canal kind of forms the levee there. And after 2011, those damages were repaired, and as the warnings of the high level of the river was coming in, I and his farm manager Johnny started strengthening the levees there, digging out soil from the vineyards and building up the thickness of that bank, filling in all the monitor lizard holes, etc. So they were preparing for this battle, and it was quite a battle. So they had 24, by Sunday morning when I arrived there, they were going for 24 hours, and it would take another 2 days, another 48 hours of manning the levees.
Een groot probleem, al hierdie gate, like waangate. Op die video lyk dit ons natuurlik nie so groot nie, maar is 'n klomp van hulle, veral aan die ander kant van die kanaal gewees. Alright, 6 Mei 2025, net gou 'n bietjie verduidelik wat hier gebeur het. Die rivier se water wat so hoog is, riviervlak is nou maar met dampie levels gemeet en so aan dat die binnewater van die rivier wat nou aan die linkerkant is toe nou 55 mm op die einde hoër as die rivier se sementvlak, die kanaal se sementvlak. Nou hierso is nou maar 'n bietjie grond gegooi hierso en sakkies gepak om soveel as moontlik te keer. En die hele wal het al saag geraak, soos hy nat geraak het, maar die water is toe nou gekeer en tans sak die rivier. Klomp water wat onder deur die wal syfer, onder deur die kanaal syfer. Die word nou grond gegooi, laat 'n man net ten minste kan ry hierso en by die belangrike punte kan uitkom. Maar ja, ons het nou maar so sakkies gepak om hierdie hele buigdeel, as ek so kan sê, om hierdie besigheid sterk te hou, so sterk as moontlik. Kyk hoe nat is hy hierso. Dis kom ons hierdie kant van die kanaal maar baie aandag aan gegee het. Ekstra sakke in die nag, deurnag gewerk hierso. Seker gemaak dat nou nie moeilikheid kom nie. En as die kanaal breek of kom ons sê die water druk deur, is maar skade vir almal. Dis nie net vir ons op die grond nie hierso nie. Ons wingerd is klaar onder water, dit kan jy sien. Maar dit is vir almal in die belang van die dorp en die gemeenskap. Ons het maar ons beste probeer. Ons is net bly ons kon hom wen. En bietjie ekstra sakke, klomp sakke hier, so hierdie hele wal het nat geraak. Sand nog boop uitgetip. Kyk hoe druk hy hier onderdeur. Het is maar moeilik om op 'n video maar alles te wys. Maar as jy hier self gestaan het, en ek sal nou so 'n bietjie afsak. En trekker het hier dag en nag gestaan, sakkies aanry. As ons nog werkers nodig gehad het, ek het nou maar ekstra werkers hier laat staan, skofte gehardloop dag en nag, grawe het hier gebly, alles seker te maak dat hier hulp is. en Hanne en mense. So dankie vir die werkers ook en almal. Maar ja, hierdie hele besigheid het swak geraak hier van al die water.
Until the level started dropping. Now, the fight with the river, the battle with the river like that, one of the most important things is the information you are getting. So we have these measurements that come that I give you all the time on videos of the level, the flow of the river. But that's not the full story. First of all, it's not enough detail, and it's not precise enough. It might give you a good flow level, cubic meters per second. But if the river is more overgrown, the water goes higher at the same flow, and if it's less overgrown, it goes lower. They also give you some measurements on the height at bridges and measuring points. But for us to have more detail, we do our own measurements. So we have a measurement in Prieska. And this first pipe, you can see on Thursday, the 1st of May, the water level reached 7.25. On the Friday, the water level was down to 7 meters. On the Saturday, the 3rd, the water level was up to again 7.25. And on the Sunday, it dropped down to just under 7.25, about 7.2. So that means that the peak flow went up, it flattened out at the top and then started dropping again. So we could use that to forecast a Kakamas, that they would see a peak, a slight drop, and then another slightly higher peak, like a couple of centimeters higher, and then it would start dropping off. So I started sending them, as well as Neil van die Kerk, CEO of the Kakamas Watergebruikersvereniging. I started sending them the info as I was getting it from both Prieska. Also got picture like this from Kanoneiland, showing the level going up and then dropping away again. So Prieska is about 2 days upstream from Kakamas. So what happened in Prieska on Thursday would happen in Kakamas on Saturday. So they had a peak there. It changes slightly because of the geometry of the riverbed. But then the Saturday, Sunday peak in Prieska would arrive to Kakamas on Monday and Tuesday. So that means if they could make it through Monday afternoon, Monday evening, they would probably survive the peak of the flow. And that's what they then did. And that was a case of manning those levees. They prepared by bringing in sandbags ahead of time, staging them so that they could deploy them where they see. You never know where it's going to break through. Like here we had a breach in 2011. We had a big fight with the Orange River. We had excavators, dump trucks. But once it breached, you got that dump truck dropping in 5 to 10 tons of gravel. That 5 to 10 tons of gravel just washed away in that breach. We kept on trying to fill it in, and I also went upstream into the trees. Like you see here, I went into the trees and I found the hole that a porcupine or a lizard, monitor lizard, like a Vaan, had dug in where the water was flowing in, because it didn't breach the top of the levee, it kind of breached underneath. And I was in the trees there, and they were passing me sandbags, and I would dive down and push those sandbags into that hole. In the end, we managed to stop it. So the battle for Kakamas was from Saturday night until Tuesday morning, and they managed to stop the breaching of those levees, which was, statistically, they should have been able to stop it, because 2011 was a higher level than this year, and it just managed to breach the damaged parts of the levee in 2011. So by all means they should have been able to do it. That still doesn't mean it was easy. You can see in these videos that they show the levels were quite high and going up to the top of the canal, which is basically the levee. So they had their fight from Saturday till Tuesday. We had our fight again here from Sunday afternoon, basically Monday till this morning, Wednesday morning. and I think we've managed to do it. I showed in a previous video this water just starting to go over this small cement block and then starting to drop in. You can see it went slightly higher than that. It went about 150 millimeters higher than that. So it was just over 7.2 meter, which corresponds exactly to that measurement on the pipe that we set up in Prieska. And I actually calibrated these readings to correspond with that, so that we can know in Prieska. That gives us about 3 to 3.5 days advance warning exactly what we can expect here. Anyway, the battle for the levies. Prieska, Kakamas, and now we're here. Hopefully we survive the Orange River this time. Anyways, I'll keep you updated. See you on the next one. Cheers. Just as an afterthought, a lot of people ask, can you pump more water during the floods? I have answered it, but I'm going to answer it again. These pumps are extracting about 10 cubic meters of water per minute. No, a little bit more than that. Closer to about 15 to 20 cubic meters of water per minute. That's per minute. This is flowing at 5,000 per second. We are not having any impact on it. And we can only pump until the dams are full, and then you can't pump anymore. We irrigate according to the need of the plants, not according to how much water is available. Anyway, see you on the next one. Cheers.